Hey guys, welcome to Tips and Tea with Linnea FNP. My name is Linnea Baker. For those I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, I am a board certified family nurse practitioner as well as a certified health and well-being coach. And I am so excited to be here today and get to bring some education and an awareness to you around mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and since I'm recording this in May, I wanted to make sure I covered a topic on mental health and the gut-brain connection because it is so important. And we're seeing more and more in US adults and even our teenagers and kids really dealing with all kinds of mental health issues. And being in healthcare for, gosh, it's been 27 years now plus. I have seen the changes in trends over the last few decades. So it's very important we bring awareness to this topic. We take the stigma off of it so that people feel comfortable sharing and getting help. And I'm grateful for you for showing up and allowing me to pour into you today and bring some education and awareness. So first off, when I looked at the statistics on Johns Hopkins, they said that 1 in 4 adults in the US have a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year. And I would say that if you stop and think about your friends, your family, more people than not are suffering from some kind of trouble with their mental health, whether it's trouble focusing, anxiety, depression, just not feeling 100%. There's so many different things aside from very severe mental health issues like bipolar disorder and clinical depression and panic attacks and severe anxiety and schizophrenia, right? To name a few. So I want to talk more and give you a little education about the gut-brain connection because you guys who have been following know that my jam is gut health, and there's just so much information out there about how your gut is the second brain. So first, I want to talk to you guys about that feeling of like butterflies in your stomach that you may get when you're excited or nervous. How many of you have had that sensation in your lifetime at some point? Right? Or what about if you get that gut feeling? You just have that knowing about something. You have that gut feeling or intuition. I remember clearly when my youngest daughter, Mia, we were living in Hawaii and she was going to school there. She was about 5 years old, sitting in the back of my car while we were driving home. And I was talking to her about gut feelings. And I was explaining to her that when she gets that gut feeling, she needs to pay attention to it and listen to it because it's her body telling her something. It's her gut instincts or gut intuition. And I told her it's signaling her to be careful or cautious, to be wary of someone. And I told her definitely don't ignore it and to definitely pay attention to it and to communicate those feelings to me so I can help her through it and figure out what's going on. And while she's carried that discussion, even shared it with her friends when she was younger, but she's carried that through even now attending college, and it has served her very well throughout her life. And it has also served me very well in my 27 plus years in healthcare. And that feeling in my gut has helped me save more lives than I can count, honestly, including family members. I know I could write a book, and I know many of my other medical friends and nurse friends could say the same. And all of these feelings occur because of the connection our gut has with our brain. And another finding I had connecting the gut and brain in my clinical practice was when I worked in the pediatric clinic. And I would see children come in with abdominal pain that actually ended up being related to migraines, anxiety, and even seizures once we did the workup. And this again just shows how powerful that connection is between what is going on in the brain and the symptoms of the stomach concerns that a child had when they came into clinic. So it wasn't always obvious, like constipation or a virus or something else. it could be something connected to the brain. So how does the gut and the brain communicate? Well, like I said, our gut's referred to as our second brain, and it actually communicates bidirectionally with our actual brain through a complex network of nerves and hormones and biochemical signaling pathways. So back and forth, bidirectional. That means the brain is constantly talking to the gut, and the gut is actually constantly talking to the brain. So what exactly is this gut-brain connection? Well, simply put, it's the communication highway between our gut and our brain. And this bidirectional communication influences various aspects of our health, including our digestion, our mood, our immune function, and even our cognition. And it's always communicating, guys. So to understand this connection better, there's some key components I want to share with you. First, the gut consists not only of the stomach. That's what we usually think when I say, gut, we always think the stomach, but it actually encompasses the mouth all the way down to the anus is your gut. And throughout this entire gut are microbiota, which are actual bacteria. The bacteria, the microbiota. And when we talk about the microbiome, we are talking about the bacteria, the microbiota, and all the genes that the bacteria make. And second, the microbiota have what are called short half-lives. And that just means that the bacteria die rather quickly, usually within a half hour, although others may live longer. Well, if they're dying quickly, where do they go, right? Well, the microbiota are actually excreted through the feces. And according to research explained by neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, who's at Stanford University, and this was taken from his podcast episode, February 28th, 2022. And he says that actually 60% of your feces is made up of live and dead microbacteria. And that is why if any of you have seen a holistic practitioner, they likely want to obtain stool testing from you. And these tests can tell a lot about your health or why you may be ill, or and how does it do that? Well, it's looking at specific gut microbes in the stool. Okay. The cool thing is though, guys, everyone's microbiota varies just like everyone's fingerprint is different. And however, though, there are specific types of microbiota that your body carries, as well as the number of microbiota in your gut and the overall health of your microbiome. That depends largely on the foods you're eating or not eating. Okay, so depending on how many and what specific types you have and how you're doing in your overall health depends on what foods you eat or don't eat. And third, within the gut, there's actually another nervous system. This blew my mind when I'd heard this. Many of us remember learning in school about the central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. Some of us, or most of us, might remember the peripheral nervous system, which branches off of that. However, in the gut, there's an enteric nervous system called the ENS. And the vagus nerve actually connects that ENS or enteric nervous system to the central nervous system. Dr. Amy Shah is a double board certified physician in internal medicine as well as immunology from NYU and Harvard, with a nutritionist degree from Cornell. And she explains in her book, I'm So Effing Hungry, the power of the vagus nerve by sharing research that confirms that stimulating the vagus nerve triggers overeating, whereas blocking the vagus nerve leads to weight loss. Wow, isn't that powerful? So let's talk about the role of the gut microbiome. Aside from the vagus nerve, another one of the primary players in the gut-brain connection is the gut microbiome itself, which is a diverse community of microorganisms residing in our digestive tract. And these microbes play a crucial role in digestion, nutrition absorption, and immune function. And moreover, they produce neurotransmitters and metabolites that can influence our mood and cognitive function. When we say metabolites, I just mean those are substances involved in metabolism, okay? So Andrew Huberman reports that the microbiota can make neurochemicals that go into your bloodstream and impact cells of the body and brain indirectly without even involving the vagus nerve pathway. And according to Huberman, the nerve cells along the gut are constantly paying attention to the nutrients in the microbiota or the gut components. And these nerve cells, which are also called neurons, they actually send signals up to the brain. And those signals are communicating the chemistry, the nutritional quality, and other aspects of the gut at that given location up to the brain. And that actually influences the brain to seek out a particular food, guys. That is how powerful our gut health is. It actually is part of how we are eating certain foods, why we eat and crave certain foods. And Huberman goes on to state that the food you eat and the environment of your gut microbiome can actually create the chemical substrate that allows your brain to feel one way or another. So you may feel great or you may feel lousy. You may seek out a particular type of behavior or you may ignore that behavior, such as eating or not eating and which foods it wants to eat. So powerful. And I'm going through this because I want you to understand when we know better, we can do better. And I want you to understand how important this connection is to your brain health, your mental health, and wellness. According to Dr. Amy Shah, neurotransmitters are called brain chemicals, and they carry messages between those neurons, which are nerve cells, and to other cells in your body. Think of it like text messages, okay? And they influence everything from mood to involuntary movements. And she explains that the gut-brain axis actually affects emotions. Huberman explains that the gut microbiota actually digests foods and other microbiota to make certain neurotransmitters. And those neurotransmitters he talks about are GABA, dopamine, and serotonin. And I'm sure you've heard of 1 to 2 of those, right? Serotonin is actually a neurotransmitter that's considered the happy hormone. And we now know that 90 to 95% of serotonin is actually manufactured in the gut by specific gut microbiota. So that makes sense. If our gut is not healthy, we're not making this one part, it would be the happy hormone, serotonin. And it's 90 to 95% of it's made in the gut, even though it affects our mood and our brain. So if we're not healthy in our gut, how are we going to produce that level of serotonin to help with our brain health, right? Huberman states that dopamine is another neurotransmitter that can be created by particular microbiota in our gut. Dopamine is known as the reward hormone, and dopamine actually puts us into action, such as eating more of the food that gave us pleasure or seeking out more of whatever gave us that reward or satisfaction feeling. And Huberman reports that by creating the right gut microbiome environment where these microbiota thrive leads to an elevated baseline dopamine, which in general leads to an enhanced mood. Now, GABA, that's yet another neurotransmitter that's synthesized in the gut by specific microbiota, according to Huberman. And GABA acts as a mild sedative on the body and helps with things such as reducing irritability. That's one we could all use some days, right? GABA can help quiet certain circuits of the brain, such as those responsible for anxiety. And Huberman explains that you change the way the brain functions by metabolizing or facilitating the metabolism of certain neurotransmitters. And he goes on to say that there are hundreds of thousands of studies now, mostly in mice, some in humans, that demonstrate creating the correct gut microbiota environment really does enhance mood and well-being. When your gut microbiome is not healthy, it can deplete our mood and well-being. Wow. Here's some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline, and it's a hot topic, and there's a lot of research going on, and it's called psychobiotics. So what are psychobiotics? Dr. Shah states that the microbes in your gut also have the ability to manufacture toxins that make us feel bad, or by releasing mood-boosting chemicals to make us feel good. And she goes on to state that certain strains of good bacteria themselves have been shown to act as mood boosters. And that has led to a major focus in research called psychobiotics. According to an NIH article published in the journal Nutrients, psychobiotics are defined as probiotics that, when ingested in appropriate amounts, might confer mental health benefits to the host by affecting the microbiota, which are gut bacteria of the host organism. And there are studies showing that the use of probiotics have led to improved mood similar to that experienced by persons taking anti-anxiety medications. Other studies have been demonstrated reduced symptoms of depression with the use of probiotic therapy, similar to the results found with the use of an SSRI. SSRI is a type of antidepressant. And this field is actually, guys, going to change the course of treatment for mental health, and it's exploding right now. And specific probiotic strains to treat specific mental health conditions and the appropriate amount necessary for each strain of probiotics still needs further extensive research. But there's a lot going on in this area, and I'm excited to see what comes out. Dr. Shah reported that there has even been research uncovering new evidence that our gut microbes may be related to schizophrenia and mental health. So imagine the impact that could have on people suffering with these types of mental health conditions, right? And of course, it goes without saying that there's still much to learn in this area, and that you should follow with your personal healthcare provider or specialist who is managing any mental health issues you may be experiencing. Sudden medication change, if you have sudden medication changes done without the guidance of a medical provider trained in this area, that can have very serious harmful consequences, guys. However, if you are interested in knowing more, I advise you to discuss this topic with your personal healthcare provider or specialist managing your condition. And if you feel like you're experiencing any mental health concerns, please seek out medical care and attention right away. You don't want to let that go, okay? Gut microbiome and the further impact on mental health. So aside from psychobiotic research, studies have shown that disruption in the gut microbiome composition, often referred to as dysbiosis, which is just an unhealthy gut, those are associated with various mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, and even neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Understanding and nurturing a healthy gut microbiome can thus have profound implications for our mental well-being. Isn't that crazy that it's even neurodegenerative effects like Alzheimer's? So Huberman shares one fascinating study. This was done at Baylor College of Medicine with mouse models of autism spectrum disorder and social behavior. And this study identified a particular type of microbiota, I believe it's called L. reuteri, that takes residence in the gut and can help offset symptoms of autism in mouse models. Treatment with this microbiota L. reuteri corrected the social deficits in these autism mouse models by activating vagus nerve pathways. So lots of research in this area. I had quite a lot of autism traits or autism diagnosed amazing children on my panel. And when I did work in pediatrics, and they were such a blessing and such amazing, beautiful souls. But to see that these parents and children, there could be answers based on lifestyle and nutrition and gut health and probiotics is really exciting. So I'm really interested in this field and I keep following it. And we still need more research and more information, but where the direction is going is very hopeful. So strategies for improving gut health, right? We talked about all these things that the gut does. Well, how do you improve it? Well, a healthy gut really means you have a large diversity of good microbiota. And that in turn will help you create neurotransmitters that can support improvements in overall mental well-being and health. And so how do we optimize our gut health to support our well-being? Some strategies. Number one, nutrition. Your diet. Consuming a diverse range of fiber-rich foods, fermented foods, and prebiotics can nourish beneficial gut bacteria and promote a healthy microbiome. Number two is lifestyle. So managing stress through techniques like meditation, yoga, and regular exercise can positively impact gut health and reduce inflammation. Getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night helps decrease inflammation and support gut health. Having positive social interactions, guys, that's huge for supporting our overall health. The number one lifestyle component that the blue zones all have in common, and blue zones are areas in the world where people are living to 100 years old and in good health with good quality of life. Isn't that what we want? Good quality of life and good health as well as age and longevity. They said the number one is community. Community is the number one factor to impact longevity. And then probiotics. Incorporating probiotic supplements or foods rich in probiotics can help restore microbial balance in the gut. And you want to avoid those gut disruptors. So, limiting the intake of processed foods, artificial sweeteners, refined white sugar, limiting alcohol intake, that can all help mitigate disruptions in the gut microbiome. So, guys, in closing, the gut brain connection, it's an absolutely fascinating area of research with profound implications for our health and well being. And since we're in May, the Mental Health Awareness Month, this is the perfect time to talk about holistic lifestyle factors that can work hand in hand with what you're doing with your specialists and doctors, and to have hope that the future, there's more things that are going to come out down the road that could really impact many people's lives. And that's so rewarding. And I'm so excited to see where this goes. Guys, by nurturing a healthy gut microbiome and understanding that bi-directional communication, that back and forth communication between our gut and brain, we can take significant strides towards achieving optimal mental and physical health. Guys, I've been on my own gut health journey to improve my overall health for over 4 years, and I'm thriving. I've experienced firsthand improvements in my mental health, specifically a significant decrease in anxiety, improved mood, improved stress management. I got rid of my brain fog. I improved my ability to concentrate, and I significantly improved my sleep quality, all from a program that I have used to focus on gut health and nutrition for over 4 years. It's a holistic program with a sustainable, healthy lifestyle that supports gut health, and it's super easy to follow and maintain. A health journey, guys, should not be hard. It should not be focused on willpower, and it should not feel overly restrictive. Remember, heal is in health, die is in diet. Guys, if this speaks to you, please leave an emoji or comment in the comments, and I'll reach out to you for a free wellness consult. Remember, my mission is to positively impact your health and wellness through education and coaching to create generational health and a health span that equals your lifespan. And my disclaimer that this information is for educational purposes and to increase awareness on various health topics. This information is not intended to prevent, diagnose, treat, or cure individuals, and it is not intended to replace guidance given to you by your personal healthcare provider who knows you best. If you are followed by a healthcare provider for any chronic illness, that includes mental illness, medications, or are pregnant or breastfeeding, then you should check with your personal healthcare provider or specialist first before making any diet, exercise, physical activity changes, or taking any supplements such as probiotics. This information is not intended for children. Guys, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you for showing up and listening to this. And I truly hope that this brought you value. Until next time, guys, be safe. Thanks so much.